Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 25th RNCI Red Nation International Film Festival. We're very excited today about our uh, director and actress that we have and the film that they have. But before we get into that, I'd like to invite you to right now experiencing the Red Nation Indigenous Filmmakers Lounge. And we've had a wonderful opportunity this whole month to have all these incredible interviews with so many directors internationally. So this pandemic has, in a way, been good for us for the Native narrative. Um, but before we get into our guests and the film, I'd like to let everybody know this is the last week of the festival. We've been online for 1 month. November 30th will be 30 days of continuous programming, content. We have 105 films that you could still view. So this is the holiday week. So binge on the Native narrative at Red Nation International Film Festival. And we have 16 events, and we've had 28 directors that we've had the privilege of interviewing this whole month. So visit rednationff.com to get all the information. And we just started the rollout of our award ceremony, and it's November 29th at 5. And there's something really special. There's VIP tickets, and only a certain amount of people get in that. It's called like the Zoom room where everything happens. So anyone who purchases a ticket has that opportunity to interact with all of us, the hosts, the presenters, the nominees, the winners, and it will be live on Facebook. As of yesterday, we made that that announcement. I was going to just have it on Red Nation Television Network, but we decided to let everybody in on it. But there is the VIP room, so that's going to be a really fun experience, and we'll be, you know, putting the camera towards the VIP room and hear all you guys talking about, the buzz of the winners and the nominees, and it's just going to be really, really exciting. So go to rednationff.com and get your ticket. And then November 30th, we're having our fundraiser. It's our signature event, our concert series. That's how we started 25 years ago, was with a concert series during Indian Market. And that's a fundraiser, so anyone can participate in that. We have Joe Walsh, we have Jennifer Warrens, we have Hook Herrera, we have Richard T. Bear, we have Joanne Shenandoah. I mean, Tony Gilkinson, we have Bruce Sugar. There's a whole roster of talent. So make sure you go visit rednationff.com and see who all we're going to be partying. It's the last day of the festival, November 30th, so we're going to party. All right, so now we're going to move on to our guest today. And I'm just so excited about this. This film, Spotlight, is on Angel's Ladder. And the director is John Powers, and our actress is Carla Ray. Welcome, both of you. I'm happy that you're here with us today.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
so
you very
much.
much, Jamil. It's an honor to be part of Red Nation International Film Festival
We're happy
on its
to
25th anniversary.
I know, isn't that amazing?
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Quarter of a century. When we first started, there wasn't.
So you were like what, 2?
I know. I know. When we first started, there wasn't anywhere to experience Native cinema in the entertainment capital of the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
So, we got to do what we got to do.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you did it, and you're still doing it.
I'm still doing it. No
That's
matter
right.
what. No
That's right.
matter what.
awesome.
There's the next generation, right?
That's right.
So I'm going to go into this. I'm going to ask my first question to you, John. What inspired you to make this movie? How did that come about?
The inspiration for Angel's Ladder begins actually quite a while ago. And it began with an argument with my mother. And it was over property. And it led to quite a heated argument. And eventually I was able to resolve it with her, but that argument was so unsettling, it remained with me for a long period of time. And I tried to develop that feeling in a story. And Angel's Ladder is the result of that resolution. As many of us who are, all of us coming from families, there are arguments or discussions or issues that are either within our own generations or even have preceded us. And we struggle with these. And part of maturity is coming to know that we need to let these issues go and be free of the past and to find a new future for us. And part of what Angel's Ladder is about, even though it's not fully shown in the movie here, is the beginning of that discussion.
Well, it's so interesting how the family dynamic, and this morning in my meditation, it was very prevalent to me, and I got so excited that I'm completely free of all of that, like all the drama, all of that stuff that happens within a family dynamic, right? And the stuff that we hold on to from our mother and even our father, but mostly our mother, that we okay. I know for myself, I can only speak for myself, is that I need to heal and let go and acknowledge and recognize and honor her. And then now I'm free. I'm on the other side, and it's fabulous. It's such a good feeling.
Yeah, this very conversation. Go ahead, John.
No, you finish, Carla, and I'll go back.
No, this very conversation, Jonelle, that you just discussed, I had with my oldest sister about a month ago. I did get to go east to visit my sons, and one of them who had just had a new baby.
Oh, congratulations.
And I waited until the baby was a couple of months old before I went and did all the precautions and everything. But my sister wanted to meet the baby as well. So we met together at my place in Virginia, and she stayed with me. And we had, she was like the mother image to me because my mother died when I was very young. So she raised me. And we butt heads on a lot of things and a lot of topics in our family, in our life. And we were able to face to face, which I feel like is providence, have that moment of, you know what, we got to let this go, because you know what, bottom line is I love you, you love me, and all the other stuff doesn't matter, and it really doesn't. And so it was a very timely in regards to what we're talking about right now. So I just wanted to interject that I've had that same aha moment
Right.
within my it is freeing. This is who I am, that's who you are, and we love each other, and let's just go on with that. And it was very very liberating.
Well, because of this go ahead, John.
Well, I was simply saying, a recurring theme in the work that I've done is this idea that we become ourselves, or we can only become ourselves when we free ourselves from the past. But the counter theme that struggles with that in the story is that we can never become ourselves because we can never free ourselves from the past.
Yeah, isn't that
underlying that's what's going on in Angel's Ladder?
Yeah, it's interesting because one, this pandemic has really allowed, it's a blessing, I feel, because it's allowed us, I know the tragedy of all the souls that are leaving the earth right now, But on the other hand, it's allowed us to really look at ourselves and go deep if we choose to go deep, and to heal up whatever those issues are. You know, you brought up the yin and the yang of that, John, and it's so true. But I can honestly say that on this topic, from my experience, is that the past is not as heavy and intense and drama driven as it is today for me, if it should come up, right? It's easier for me. It's just getting lighter and lighter and lighter. And yeah, most likely will always be there, but I think it's a different internal reaction that we have when we're healing up.
And for me, Jonelle, I feel as though, you know, I don't want to put ages and stages, but I feel like it is a stage of my life, you know, and as I mature, you know, and I look at my grandchildren and, you know, and I'm like, good Lord, you know, I don't want to be dragging this stuff around, you know, it's not worth it, you know, it's just not. And so when I look at it from that perspective, you know, I'm like, you know, I do have wisdom to offer, you know, the younger generations, but at the same time, whether they take it or not until they get to my stage in life, that's not my problem either. You know, I just have to say, this is what's working for me, you know, and what you're saying, you know, just let it go and, you know, be free. And like you started out saying, you know, just being light and, you know, it's just so freeing. And that this film, for me, I was honored to be asked to do this role, and you know how much I love to talk, and I didn't say a word, not a word in this film, not one word. Everything was through my action, through my expression, through my feeling. I felt it. I felt my way through that film. I felt my way with the characters. I felt my way being the character of the Chumash woman, and saying, you know, I understand that, you know, you're going through this land deal again, but let me tell you what happened, you know, so that you can heal and I can heal and all of this can be healed. This is what happened in this land grab, you know, years ago, and you know, all of that. And so it was intense for me in that everything I had to do was done. This was, like I said, the first role I have ever done where I did not speak a word. Everything was my action or my expression. And my only hope is that what the Chumash woman was trying to say was expressed in her action, because she was just saying, you know, does anybody see? Is anybody aware? Does anybody, you know, is anybody aware what's going on and or what has gone on? And then when that happens, I feel like when, like I just told you, having that confrontation, not confrontation, but conversation with my sister, it was, we were able to look at those things and say, you know, okay, this happened. Let's not deny that it happened, but we can move forward now. And that is parallels for me much of what the Chumash woman was saying. Can we acknowledge that this took place? Is anybody even, hello, you know? And that's where I was throughout that film.
Well, it's interesting when we have that kind of conversation with family members, because everyone has a different perception of what happened, right? But that's the working through, and that's the healing up and accepting, okay, you have yours. I have mine. Make amends. And that was, you know, 500 years ago. So let's just
exactly
forward.
Exactly. You know, I had a conversation like this with my son not long ago, and he was pointing out things that he saw at a particular time in his growth, and I was there, you know, and so, you know, I let him sit there through the whole, you know, like 45 minutes of telling me, you know, that I wasn't there for this and I wasn't there for that, and I'm just letting him get it out. And finally, I just, you know, I said, there's a bottle on the counter between you and I, and that's the only thing on the counter. And I said, I guarantee you, if you were to describe that bottle, you would describe it totally different from how I'm describing it because I'm seeing it from a different angle.
Right.
I said, it's all perception, baby.
Yeah.
I said, because everything that you just said, I was there in those moments.
Yeah.
I was right there, and this is my perception of that. And
Right.
whoa,
Yeah.
you know, and then to bring out, you know, and now you have a little one, you know, aren't you going to see things differently from, you know, and
Right.
I mean, it was like the lights went
Yeah.
on like ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
It was a great moment. And that's how I feel like what, you know, we're talking about with regard to the film. And I was so thrilled when John reached out to me and said, you know, I would really like, you know, you to consider this role, you know, and I said, well, I would really like to read the whole thing, you know, because he does have
Right.
the full screenplay, and I did, and it felt right. It felt like, you know, I could put, you know, some value to this perception.
John,
One-
John.
Yes,
So when
go ahead.
you
Yes.
when so the screenplay that you have, what was the process for you? Like, how long did it take you to write your screenplay? I always ask that question with screenwriters
Well,
because
the
it's
idea
always,
gestated,
pardon me?
as with the idea gestated over a number of years, but once I identified some very specific elements in it, it came together quite uh, within a short period of time. What's interesting in the conversation right now, even though we've only the film that has been submitted is a short film, and it essentially comprises the opening of the story. I've tried to make it complete, but in fact, it's just the opening of a much larger story, and it gets at these issues of um, generational conflict, even over centuries. And the
Right.
story does try to find healing for the various characters. The Chumash woman, who is a spirit on the land, who Colore was playing, and then the woman who is coming back to her family's property and is confronting old issues with her mother and her father there. And these things erupt in the presence of this property. But it all comes down to what we were just speaking about. We need to try and heal. We need to get at what happened, find
Right.
some justice, and then move forward.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, it's the teachers show up when you're ready, you know, that statement, and it's so true. And so hopefully with this film out now, it'll be a teaching moment and an inspiring moment for someone that may be going through this and would like to heal from it. You know, film is so powerful in that way, you know, that we get to experience someone's story on the silver screen, and then it resonates with us, and we're inspired to take action, whatever you know the theme is or the topic is. But yeah, I really appreciate these kind of films because they are a healing tool. You know, it's very powerful in that way. So John, where did you film this?
Yes. We were on a hilltop. Specifically, it was in Las Varas Canyon, which is about midway between Gaviota and I'm always blanking on the name of. Let's just say between Gaviota and Santa Barbara. That's the easiest way to. So
okay.
it's just up from the California coastline.
Yeah.
And it overlooks that area right there. And it is right on Chumash territory. And
Right.
I was in very near to that is a sacred spot for the Chumash people. We were not at that location, but I was trying to represent that location. And this was land that was missionized by the Franciscans well over 200 years ago. and a crime had been committed there. And the injustice of that crime still haunts this land and whoever has been there. And we're coming into it in the late, or I would say the early 21st century, and the spirit of the shaman woman, the Chumash woman who Carla Ray is portraying, is still inhabiting that world right there. And I was very fortunate to find it because it's quite an incomparable home that is built on the ridge of this hilltop. And you look all around from it, there is undeveloped land. There's some down at the very base or some agriculture, but you look around and it's still undeveloped.
Pristine.
It gives a glimpse of what this world was 200 plus years ago.
Wow. You know, it's interesting because I hike up in the mountains here. And I say it's the Santa Monica Mountains. It's the backdrop of all of this. And it's Chumash land, and there's stories there. And there's one part of the mountain where I've gone a couple of times and I won't go there anymore. And there's the other part where it's more open, and the energy is really different. But that one part where I've gone a couple of times, there's a huge cave there, and it's not what, the kids that party or whatever. It's not that energy. It's an old, ancient energy of something that really horrible happened there. And I could feel it. Like it's like, and different spots you could feel the cold air. So, the spirits are still there. And then, so yeah, it's, our ancestors are still here. They're still here walking with us and being with us. And that's a whole other thing too, because that's all about energy, right?
Right.
And it relates to your film and this conversation about energy, because when you're in the depth of the drama of a family dynamic, right, and you're holding on to that past, like, holding on, I'm not going to let go because I'm right. I'm right. And I know what happened, and this is it, and this is my story. It's like, God, that takes so much energy. Oh my God.
It does.
It's like, so it's energy. So when we're doing that, we're walking around with all this heavy energy. So when we start healing up and we start letting go,
it becomes peace, ease, and no drama. Oh my goodness, what a concept.
Yeah. I'm so, in my personal life right now, I'm so happy you made this film, John, because in my personal life, I there's literally like hardly any drama. And if there's drama, I see it, I see it, and it's like, okay,
not going there.
It's not for me.
Yep. That's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah.
I live in San Pedro, California, and I live close to the coastline here and what's known as White's Point Preserve. And there has been the development of a site right there of a Tongva site. And so there's a lot of information about the Tongva people, who are commonly known here as the Gabrielinos, which are the tribes south of the Chumash. And I love to walk through the preserve, and particularly they built a circle, what would obviously be a storytelling circle for the Tongva people. And I love to just walk through there and feel the positive energy of that space when I'm out in the morning. And it is a spiritual location. So I'm happy to be close to the people who once were throughout this entire region for millennia, and we don't pay enough respect to them. We have so little awareness when you go up here, and we have to make an effort to learn about the people that were here and to pay respect to them.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of initiatives and a lot of dialogue and a lot of organizing and has taken place over the last couple of years for that to, I mean, there's been years, but like, it's just the last couple of years that there's been a lot of inroad to that. So
Right.
that's exciting, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, even with, you know, our festival being 25 years old, I mean, Variety last year mentioned the festival. So it was the first time a Native festival was in the, was not the breakdown,
In
but
the trades.
well, it was in the trades, but I mean, the mention with the other known festivals like Tribeca
Right.
and Cannes and stuff. And
Mhm.
then this year was so exciting because we got our lineup. We got our film lineup of the films. And that was the first, and I'm so excited about that. And I'm so excited. And that's the change, right? So, so now there's a movement and a coming together to highlight our Native narrative. So it's just so exciting.
But it's not because you haven't been here for 25 years
Yeah.
trying to let them know you've been here. We've been here, you know, and that's
Yeah.
what I feel like is happening, and it's a good thing. There's that door and you know the crack opening that says, oh,
Right.
hey, wait a minute, we have some people here that we haven't mentioned before, and I
Right.
think that's awesome. So
Yeah. You know, it's the you know, like last year we had Christian Bale and Scott Cooper and you know, Sashim Littlefeather, and it was just an incredible award ceremony and incredible film festival last year of all the films. And there was nothing. There's no lead up in the trades.
Wow.
We had Christian Bale, right? So I think that they really realized, you know, wait a minute, we really need to start being more inclusive.
Right.
So I congratulate Variety. They've helped me throughout my career, put stuff on me personally, but for the festival, that's what. Because for you guys, because
Exactly.
when it's in there, they go to the website and they see all these fabulous films that they can experience. They can possibly, you know, see actresses like you, Carla, and hire you and in front of and behind the camera for others, and you know, look at your screenplays and John, and so it's really inspiring.
So, Jonelle, for me, my question to you, it's got to be an aha moment when these people finally, you know, come to the site and they're going, whoa, there's 105 films, you know, Native themed films we didn't even know existed. And I'm just so thrilled. I'm thrilled that door is opened and people can see. It's great. And thank you for doing this for 25 years.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And counting.
Yeah, and counting. We're already planning the next 25.
I know.
You know, but this year, you know what? A great thing is that this year there's 35 films directed by women. That's powerful.
That is huge.
Yeah.
That's huge.
So what percentage is that out of 100? Like more than a third?
That's over a third.
Over a third. Yeah. That's pretty powerful.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, out of 100 films, that's over a third. Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah. What would be more? 105 films. So anyway, whatever the number is, I'm thrilled.
It's like right on a third. It's right on a third.
Yeah, I'll let someone else do the math.
It's great.
It's not my job. Oh, so you know, I just think that, John, that I'm really happy that you made your film, and you know what? I want to ask you, what was the budget and how'd you get the money? That's what I want to know.
The budget for this was right around $10,000, and I raised it through private individuals I went and I spoke to. I've done events in the past where I've tried to do crowdfunding, but you spent a great deal of time, and there were some individuals that I knew would be supportive of the storytelling that I've done in the past, and that I could go to and get a significant contribution and move this story forward. Of course, some of it was self-funded, but it would all come in at about $10,000. There was some expense owing to just the location where we were at and bringing in our artist, because Carla, as you may know, you know, she's a resident of Santa Fe, and I couldn't, but while the crew could be up at the location where we photographed, I needed to keep the talent in a reasonable hotel down in Santa Barbara area right there.
Yeah.
So that brought up some of our costs, but we were pretty efficient in using the location over a long weekend and captured all the principal photography that we needed at that time. You know, and I really commend Carla because she brought a great authority and spirituality to our production. You know, even before we began principal photography, we had a ceremony outdoors of our location right there, and it really helped center our cast and our crew on what this underlying story we were telling about it, and it resonated with us. And I think of that moment frequently.
Yeah.
And it brought good blessings upon all of us.
Well, that's wonderful. Thank you, Carla. I didn't know you're in Santa Fe.
Yes.
So
Yes.
You're on my territory. You're on my homeland.
I'm in Santa Fe. Well, Santa Fe County. I'm out toward Apache Ridge and that if you're headed toward Pecos. Yeah.
Well, okay,
that
so
area.
my family is from Pecos. We have 300 acres there
Oh
on the
my
Pecos
God.
River. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you go
Oh,
in
wow.
Pecos, there's the church Antonio. If you go to that church, it's my mom's mother's side, the Royballs, and that church burnt down, you know, centuries ago, whatever. And my great grandpa, who I have a picture of, he rebuilt the church. It's named after him, and all my relatives are there.
That is so cool.
They're you know, the burials are right there in front of the church, and it's
wow,
still open existing church.
Wow,
Yeah.
I did not know that. Cool. Yeah.
And if you go up to the cathedral in Santa Fe, my relative, if you walk into the cathedral, go to the right, you could light candles, and his image is etched in the glass there. He was the first ordained priest before this was the United States of America.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
And he's
I've
buried
been there
under that
once,
church.
and that was many years ago. Remember, I did. I don't remember what it was. We shot something down. Scoundrels. I shot an episode, and I came up from Albuquerque to visit Santa Fe, and I fell in love with Santa Fe then, and that was like in 2010. So I've been here for going on 4 years now. Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'm happy.
Well, you haven't come to the festival in August. You have to. Well, this year we weren't there, but next year.
Yeah. See,
yeah.
You'll be here.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah. So, John, I want to thank you. We're going to wrap this up, and I appreciate both of you. Is there anything, John, that you would like our audience to know about you and your film? Angel's Ladder at rednationff.com. You can watch it today. You can binge watch.
Absolutely. That would just encourage people, if you have an inclination to take a look at it. I think they will be quite impressed with Carla's performance. We presented this Chumash woman in very authentic makeup and in costume. And her presence in the film is haunting, to say the least.
Yeah. Thanks. All right. Well, Carla, do you have any last words you'd like to share with the audience?
I'm just thrilled to be with you all today, and I just wish everyone health and safety, and thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So everyone, I want to thank you for tuning in, and we have some more films, filmmakers and interviews coming up this week. This is the last week of the festival, so it's the holiday weekend. So again, binge, watch Native narrative, Native films. Come experience the award show in the VIP room, the concert series with Joe Walsh and Jennifer Warrens and Ronnie Blakely and Joanne Shenandoah, and on and on. I want to thank you for joining us today. And remember that Red Nation Celebration Institute is creating systemic change through arts and media. See you at the movies.
Thank you.
Mwah, 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 mwah.
Janelle, thank you. And Carla, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Ciao, ciao.